On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori tasked leadership of the People's Democratic Party on gender equality ahead of local government election party primaries. Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, warns bank against unauthorized disclosure of its investigation activities. Abroad, Russia attacks on northeast Ukraine prompts evacuation of 1,800 people. Good evening. Welcome to Delta TV Main News Tonight. My name is Francis Ofulue. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has tasked the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to ensure that where male chairmanship candidates emerged from local government party primaries, the vice chairman should be a woman for gender balancing. Governor Oborevwori also directed that at least 3 female candidates. He was speaking at a meeting of leaders, elders and stakeholders of the party in Delta North Senatorial District held in Asaba. The governor commended leaders and other stakeholders of the party in Delta North for always showing good examples, as well as for their significant contributions to the party's winning streak. He also thanked his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, for being a good leader. Highlight of the meeting was the passing of a vote of confidence on Governor Oborevwori for his excellent performance and administrative dexterity in the administration of the state. The motion was moved by the majority leader of the State House of Assembly and member representing Aniocha North State Constituency, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, seconded by a former member representing Ndukwa West State Constituency, Honorable Azuka Azaka. The meeting was attended by the State Deputy Governor, Samando Yeme, the immediate past governor of the state, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, the senator representing Delta North Senatorial District, Senator Ned Nwoko, the member representing Ika Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Victor Nwokolo, chairman of the party in the district, Elder Moses Idu, among other party stalwarts. Meanwhile, the ongoing sale of forms for aspirants for the July 13 council elections in the state under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will end on Wednesday next week. According to the timetable released by the party, aspirants are to submit their completed forms from Thursday, the 16th, to Saturday, the 18th of May, while screening of aspirants will take place from Saturday, the 18th, through Monday, the 20th. Chairman of the state PDP, Honorable Kingsley Esito, the party said the party will entertain appeals arising from the screening on Tuesday, May 21, while ward congresses to elect councillorship candidates and 3 ad hoc delegates will hold on May 24. According to the timetable, primaries for the party's aspirants for chairmanship position and appeals arising from the ward congresses is scheduled for May 25, while May 26 is for the party runoff primaries and consideration of appeals from the chairmanship primaries. The state PDP chairman expressed confidence that the party would emerge victorious in all the local government elections. Executive Assistant in Communications to the Delta State Governor and Head of Delta State Orientation Bureau, Dr. Lati Esiwe, has said that Governor Sheriff Oborevwori will continue to do the needful until normal life and economic activities are fully restored in Okwama community. Dr. Esiwe, who gave the assurance when he appeared as guest on his television program, said the Okwama incident ought not to have reared its ugly head in the first place, as a lingering crisis in the community and its neighbor Okuloba had been resolved by the government, where the warring parties signed a peace accord. He added that Governor Oborevwori was working round the clock to ensure that the returnees were assisted by the state government to rebuild their homes and settle down for active commercial activities. The executive assistant emphasized the need for relevant security agencies in the state to provide adequate security so as to encourage affected innocent people to return home without fear of reprisal attacks, while commending the state governor for his unrelenting efforts, resulting in the military withdrawal from Okwama community and return to normalcy. Dr. Esiwe asserted that the alleged prevention of the chief security officer of the state from accessing the community, which was tagged a crime scene, underscored the need for state governors to be in full control of heads of security agencies in their states, while appealing to well-meaning Nigerians to continue pressing for the establishment of state police and the restructuring of the security architecture at both the federal and state levels. He called for heightened security within and around the Okwama community until normalcy had been completely restored to the area. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has called on compliance officers of banks across the country to desist from unauthorized disclosure of EFCC's investigation activities and requests from banks to their customers. The executive chairman of the commission, Mr. Ola Olukayode, made a declaration during a meeting with compliance officers of banks in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Mr. Olukayode, who spoke through the acting zonal director of the Ibadan Zonal Command of the EFCC, Ace-1 Hawaii Ringim, said the commission was aware that some compliance officers are giving some information to customers. He decried the unhealthy support fraudsters received from the banking sector in Nigeria. The commission boss stressed that such an act was posing considerable challenges and concern to the commission. He said that such attempts usually jeopardize the investigation exercise of financial crimes and delay corruption cases from being filed before the law court. The EFCC's boss also urged them to always respond to letters received from the commission with certified true copies, including instrument of transactions of beneficiaries or sources, as this would expedite the process of investigation to a logical conclusion. Mr. Olukayode noted that illegal dealings and trading in Naira with the point of sale POS operators must stop. The House of Representatives has urged state governments to build modern correctional centers to decongest existing facilities and forestall jailbreaks. The chairman of the House Committee on Reformatory Institutions, Mr. Chinedu Oga, made the call when the committee visited Suleja prison to inspect the damages caused by rain that led to the inmates escaping from the facility. Mr. Oga also called in and recruited more correctional service personnel. He said the Suleja Correctional Center, built in 1914, was outdated and could not stand the test of time. The lawmaker observed that the facility collapsed due to the weakness of the building. The committee chairman said the budget of the Nigeria Correctional Service was not enough to do what was needed, adding that more funds would be needed to provide adequate security. He expressed concern that over 400 inmates had just 5 armed personnel to keep them in check, and stressed that more manpower is needed to man the correction centers. Mr. August said this would help to stabilize the correctional centers and checkmate any attack on correction facilities nationwide. The Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, Mrs. Abisoye Koka Odusote, has warned staff of the commission against engaging in any form of illegality. Mrs. Koka Odusote gave the warning during a media interaction with journalists at the NIMC head office in Abuja. The DG said she would ensure that people do not waste the entire day to solve little issues at NIMC offices. Mrs. Koka Odusote warned that any staff of the commission that tried to work with illegal perpetrators would face a disciplinary committee according to the provisions of the existing laws. She said that the commission would be considering upward review of some of its raids. And now, as the visit by the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and his wife Meghan enters its second day, the British has visited the governor of Kaduna State, Senator Uba Sani, as well as soldiers who were wounded in action. The prince, who arrived at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House in Kaduna yesterday, was accompanied by some aides and top Nigerian military officers. While welcoming the prince, Governor Sani commended him for identifying with the Nigerian armed forces and supporting soldiers who were wounded in action. The governor noted that such visits would go a long way in lifting the spirits of the brave and resilient officers and soldiers. Prince Harry said the visit was evidence of his commitment to inspiring recovery, supporting rehabilitation, and broadening respect for the Nigerian soldiers. For his part, Prince Henry Prince Harry rather, said he was in Nigeria to use the Invictus Games, which he founded 10 years ago, to put smiles on the faces of wounded soldiers and their families. In line with the tradition of hospitality, Governor Sani presented some gift items to Prince Harry and also decorated him in a traditional Hausa attire. From the Kaduna State Government House, Prince Harry and his team visited the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital to interact with wounded soldiers who were receiving treatment. Journalists were not allowed into the hospital wards, but the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukoro Kusau, explained that the visit would impact on the lives of the wounded soldiers and their families. Nigeria is the first African country to join the Invictus Games held in Germany last year, with 10 participants from the Nigerian Armed Forces. Prince Harry's visit to Kaduna came 68 years after his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, visited the state during the time of the late Premier of Northern Region, Sir Ahmadu Bello. You're watching Delta TV Main News. Still to come. Russia attacks in northeast Ukraine prompts evacuation of 1,800 people. Stay with us.
Let's go! No. Let's go. If we continue like this now, where will we go end? Bros, calm down. I know say it be like say all of us the best now, but more will not say any damage where we they cause now to our own state. And when we talk about our own state, we they talk about ourselves, about our family, our fathers and mothers, our wives, brothers and sisters, even our children. If we use our own hands, scatter what we get as our own, now where we go call our own again?
Na truth he talk. After all, Governor Sheriff, he don't promise say go do more for debtors. Now wetin make us come dey fight now?
Wetin our guy dey talk so, e make sense.
You see am now. No be lie. We need peace today so that we go fit experience the more agenda. Meaningful development for all. But where there is no peace, there cannot be prosperity now. We dey fight, they prosper. No need for the fight. Now peace and unity. Now we want. It takes peace to experience more. Together in peace and unity, we will experience the more agenda. Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
This is Delta TV Main News at 8. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
Russian attacks in northeast Ukraine have prompted the evacuation of almost 1,800 people from Kharkiv area. Heavy fighting has continued in the border area following Russia's surprise incursions yesterday. Kyiv has been expecting a Russian summer offensive for some time, including a possible attempt to capture Kharkiv, Ukraine's second city. But Ukraine insists its forces are able to resist any attack. Today, Russia said it had seized 5 villages near the town of Vakhchansk in its latest offensive. It is still not clear how far the Russian will advance, whether this is a probing attack or the start of something bigger. Ukrainian artillery guns are now firing back. The bombs of exchanging fire echoed loudly down the already bomb-damaged streets. According to the Kharkiv regional head, Holy Shnebov, a total of 1,775 people have been evacuated. Hundreds more remains in Vakhchansk, just 6 kilometers from the Russian border. Israel has ordered thousands more Rafah residents to evacuate the city as it steps up attacks in Gaza and claims to have had face-to-face battles with Hamas. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, has been intensifying operations around the southern city, where more than 1 million displaced people are sheltering. The latest evacuation order came hours after the US said Israel may have breached international law with US weapons in Gaza. A US government report says it is reasonably to assess that arms have been used in ways inconsistent with Israel's obligation to stop short of halting shipments. The UN says more than 80,000 people have fled Rafah since Monday after Israel warned people to evacuate ahead of a planned major offensive. Last week, President Joe Biden warned that the US will stop supplying more weapons if Israel launches a major ground operation in Rafah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country will stand alone and fight with fingernails if shipments are halted.
Now in business, the Naira's woes against the dollar continued as the currency lost a significant 160 Naira in 7 days on the foreign exchange market. A bureau de change operator in Wuse Zone 4, Mr. Mistila Dayabu, told journalists that the Naira was sold at 1,450 Naira per dollar compared to 1,290 Naira the same day last week. In the parallel market section, the Naira weekly. Similarly, financial market dealers quotation FMDQ data showed that Naira closed at 1,466.31 Naira per dollar yesterday compared to 1,400.40 Naira it traded last Friday. This represents a 65.91 Naira or 4.5 Naira percent Naira depreciation against the dollar weekly. The development comes despite the daily turnover of dollars settling at $113 million on Friday from $84.38 the previous day. After weeks of decline, Nigeria's foreign reserves surged to $32.369 billion as of May 6, 2024. Still talking business, the average price of refilling a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of cooking gas has surged by 5.22% to 15,929.04 Naira in March from 10,262.56 Naira the same month last year. The National Bureau of Statistics disclosed this in its latest March cooking gas price watch. On a month-on-month basis, the price of cooking gas surged by 5.77% to 15,929.04 in March 2024, compared to 15,060.38 in February. On state profile analysis, Sokoto recorded the highest average retail price for the refilling of a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas cooking gas with 17,833.33 Naira, followed by Osun with 17,588.46 Naira and Anambra with 17,417.65 Naira. Conversely, the lowest average price was recorded in Katsina at 12,400 Naira, followed by Kebbi and Bauchi with 13,137.50 Naira and 14,484.25 Naira. Analysis by Zone showed that the South recorded the highest average retail price for refilling a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas cooking gas with 16,859.85 Naira, followed by the Southeast with 16,734.87 Naira. In contrast, the Northeast recorded the lowest price with 14,943.48 Naira. The development comes amid the soaring inflation in Nigeria. NBS plans to release April's inflation next week. Meanwhile, the country's headline and food inflation increased to 33.20% and 40.01% in March 2024. Away from business, it was a carnival of sorts as men and women from home and in diaspora gathered together to celebrate the Ulo festival. The festival took place at the Owele Obalu community in Uchi, Ndokwa East Local Government Area. Heru Nogwa reports.
Owele Obalu, an agrarian community, being part of the 7 villages, celebrated the grand finale of the 9 days festival, which kick-started with the various age grades who visited the elderly ones, including the representative of the Opaluku, amid singing and dancing around the community. The President General of Uchi clan, Chief Patrick Mwabweze, said the ceremony was done once in 3 years to mark the successful planting season and to pray for a better harvest. Mwabweze advised farmers to appreciate God for strength and for fertility of the earth. He expressed satisfaction with the turnout of indigenes and visitors, saying Uchi community are great agriculturists, although lack accessible road to convey produce to other communities, and appeal to the state government for intervention.
We plead with the government to remember us, to pray that this present government, the way they are going, seems they are remembering us. So like the Honorable representing us in the House of Rep, we have been seeing his bills in the House. So meaning that he knows where his people are staying.
The President General of Owele Obalu community, Ezinna Felix Anefite, described the festival as an important rite of the people, such as the Egwazo by Ndiche, known as the elders, the Okpala of the community, the Ndiagwali and Otuwai, done on Nkwo market days, and appeal to the younger generations to revive the cultural heritage.
I encourage us to preserve our culture.
Other speakers, including the Onowu of Owele Obalu community, the Adaolo of the community, Ms. Blessing Obaze, Chief Chris Ozualo, Uchi Youth President General, Comrade Johnson Obi, expressed satisfaction with the peaceful coexistence that had existed in the community for decades, saying that the festival would encourage more unity among the 7 villages. They appealed for government's presence and they urged parents to educate their children on the culture and the traditions in order for it not to go into extinction.
With my position as Adaulo, I am calling on the indigenes within and abroad to always come out and celebrate Ulo Festival.
I'm begging the state government to come to our aid, to help us. After the election, they should remember us, remember Ushi, to see that Ushi become a mighty clan.
This year's celebration was uniquely symbolic as it afforded the people the opportunity to engage in different cultural activities as they sang and danced around the community. The ceremony featured display by various masquerades, including the Onoli masquerade. Henry Onogwa reporting.
And now in sports, Warri Wolves players will resume training tomorrow to begin preparations for the President Federation Cup. According to the club secretary, Mr. Chukoma Uka, 22 players are expected back to camp today. Mr. Uka urged the players to adhere strictly to the call for resumption. He said the training will commence on Monday, May 13. The players expected in camp are Joke Elvis, Ekene Ohia, Bakari Emmanuel, David Joseph, Sahid Olaniyi, Emmanuel Awa, and Jabbar Malik. Others are Osemayi Amasiro, Collins Onohue, Erumesele Zibiri, Osigwe Ekene, Loveday Anugbo, and as well as Ankaba Utega, Stephen Efe Yahere, Ofem Emmanuel, Yusuf Omotayo, Shadrach Kenneth, Farouk Imade, Festus Ingo, Mansa Ilya, and Igbe Ospino. Warri Wolves will face Kwara United in the round of 32 of the President Federation Cup. Still talking sport, former Super Eagles player, Chelsea midfielder, has revealed he will be on the World 11 team set to take on England in Soccer Aid for UNICEF's charity match. This will see the former Nigerian international make a return to Stamford Bridge. Mikel Obi had been confirmed as part of the lineup for the coming Soccer Aid Cash. The 7-year-old played for the Blues from 2006 till 2017, going on to win the Premier League and Champions League titles. Since he hung his boots, he had dabbled into several off-pitch activities, including hosting a podcast and making guest appearances at award shows. And now our thoughts for the day. If you want to achieve something in life, change the way, not the intention. On that intentional note, we sum up our bulletin for the evening, but before we go, a quick look on our major stories. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has tasked leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to ensure that where male chairmanship candidates emerged from local government party primaries, the vice chairman should be a woman for gender balancing. Governor Oborevwori also directed that at least 3 female councillors must emerge from each of the local government areas across the state. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has called on compliance officers of banks across the country to desist from unauthorized disclosure of EFCC's investigation activities and requests from banks to their customers. The executive chairman of the commission, Mr. Ola Olukayode, made declaration during the meeting with compliance officers of the banks in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. And abroad, we brought you the report that Russian attacks in northeast Ukraine have prompted the evacuation of almost 1,800 people from the Kharkiv area. The regional governor said heavy fighting has continued in the border area following Russia's surprise incursions. And that is the news. Many thanks for being part of it. My name is Francis Ofulue. Have a lovely evening. Good night.